Well, any good GIS should have excellent editing capabilities, and QGIS is no exception. So we're going to look at vector editing in QGIS, and we're going to look at the vector editing toolbar to illustrate that. So I'm inside of our Tompkins QGIS project, and what I'm going to do is let's just select all of these, and we'll come here and we'll hide these selected layers. And let's just turn on the parcels. So these are the property parcels. I'm going to zoom into an area, and just so we have something to work with, let's grab a bunch of parcels right here. Oops, let's make that the active layer. There we go. So these are a bunch of parcels we've selected. I'm going to right click and I'm going to export the selected features as parcel or CTemp parcel temp. That's going to at least give us a layer that we can work with. For the coordinate system, I'm going to change this to the New York Central State Plane. So that's done, and then it brought them back in. So these are the parcels that we're going to work with. Let's zoom to the layer. So there they are. Now QGIS has a number of tools that allow us to perform editing, and we have something called the digitizing toolbar. We also have the snapping toolbar and the advanced digitizing toolbar. So what I'm going to do is under view and then toolbars, let's look at the ones that you should have. So there's the digitizing toolbar, the advanced digitizing toolbar, and the snapping toolbar. So let's turn that on. So now we have all of them together. So here's the advanced digitizing toolbar, here's the snapping toolbar, and here's the digitizing toolbar. I'm going to slide this down here so we have everybody all on the third layer down with our menu. So what we'll do is we're going to hit the toggle editing toolbar, and you see a bunch of things come up and this little polygon, which allows us to add polygon features. If I were to edit the fire stations, you'll see points come up, so I can edit the point features. And if I were to toggle on the roads, you can see we can edit line features. So let's turn the editing off. So what we're going to just look at right now are our parcels. Now over here on the right is the snapping toolbar, and what I want to be able to do is determine which features I want to snap to. So I can just snap when I'm editing to the current layer. So that means I'll snap to the parcels. Or I can do it for all the layers. So every layer that I have all in this layer pane here will be available. Or we can set up the advanced configuration. And in that we'll go to the open snapping settings. So here it's the advanced. This is be for all the layers. This is the active layer. So under the advanced configuration, I can snap to the vertices of the fire stations, which are points, or the flood zones. But I can also say, I want to just be able to snap to segments of flood zones. And for the roads, I want to be able to snap to the vertex and the segment. I can also say that I want to be have a snap tolerance of 10 meters. I can also set up another rule where I want to avoid an overlap with the flood zones. So we're not going to set up any of these, but I'm just showing you this because you can see the kinds of control that you can have in editing. So these are actually really advanced editing capabilities. I'm also going to turn on topological editing, so things that are connected will move together, and snapping and intersections. Later on, we're going to use this enable tracing tool. But the first thing we should do is let's add a feature. So here I'm going to left click my mouse and right click, and I can enter some kind of attribute information for the parcels. We won't do that for now. So let's run this again. I actually canceled that because I hit the X. Let's hit the OK. And now we have a new polygon. As you're scrolling through, you can see all the different things I'm snapping to, right? So that can actually get a little bit annoying. So what I want to do is let's go to our open the snapping, and let's just do it with the active layer. So now you can see I'm snapping to the parcels, but not any of the other layers. So we'll go over here to the advanced digitizing tools, and here I'm going to move a feature. So let's select this, and we can move it over here, or we can select it again, move it over here, or move it down over here. We can also rotate this feature. So I can move it around in a different direction. As you can see, we just did that, or I can say I want to rotate it 90 degrees. The next thing I want to do is simplify a feature, but one of the ones that I created doesn't have a lot of vertices on it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to copy and move a feature. So let's select this polygon and let's move it maybe over here. There we go. So now I have this extra polygon here. Let's pan over. So a lot of curvilinear parts to this. So let's go in and let's simplify the feature. So how do I want to simplify it? I want to do it based on distance. Let's have a tolerance of, how about 10 meters? And you could see what that did. I'm going to hit Control Z. As we go back, you could see that it was getting rid of some of the vertices. I just hit I came up here to edit, set redo, and put it back in here. So let's go back in again and simplify that feature. So again, we can hit OK. We can simplify it by tolerance or by snapping to a grid. And there you go. So you can see that gets snapped a little easier. Another thing we can do, of course, is now that we're in editing mode, I can select a feature, and you can see the vertices here, and I can delete that feature. So let's pan back over, and we'll take our little polygon that we just added, and why don't we add a part? So first I have to select a feature. We're going to select this feature. It's a single object. But if I add a part, I can now digitize another polygon. Right click. That's done. And now I can select nobody. And if I go to select a feature like this one, you can see this is now a multi-part geometry. So now these are connected together, but one of the things we can also do is we can delete a part. So I can, let's actually unselect these. And let's go to delete a part. And we've gotten rid of that. Also have this really cool tool that allows us to reshape a feature. Let me show you what I mean by that. We can click outside of an area, go inside, then come back out again, and I've just reshaped this area. Or I can be inside, come outside, and then go back inside, and we can reshape the area. I can also come in and split a feature, so we can look at this one. And now what we have are two different features. And coming back over here to the digitizing toolbar, let's edit the vertices. So I can click on this. I'll click on one vertice. You click once, move aside, and now we've moved it. Click once and move it back. You can see there's a tool here called Merge Selected Features. Well, there's nothing selected, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this feature, hold the Shift key down, hold those down, so this becomes active. And then I can merge these together, and it will ask me what I want to do with the attributes. I can skip all the fields, but we'll run that. And now we have one polygon. You can see we have, again, all one selected feature here. So what I want to do is come in and split the parts. So I'm going to just come in here like that. That's done. And now when we select, this is now a different feature, and I can do the same for this one as well. The next thing I want to do is enable the tracing, and this is a really cool little tool. So here I'm going to add a polygon. I want to fill in this area down in here. So I'm snapping to the parcel temp, and I come over here, and you can see this little red area gets filled. It's snapping again to the vertices and the segment. So I'll click here. I'll come out like this, right click, and we'll hit OK. And now I have a polygon that has been able to duplicate the vertices in this location. And of course, to finish out any editing, you can hit the Save Layer Edits bar, or you can toggle the editing. And here it's going to ask if you want to change the layers or not. I'll just hit Cancel. Actually, let's toggle it off, and I'll say Discard, and then that all goes away. So there's a lot more editing you can perform with QGIS. I think this is enough to get you started, where you can see you can add different features, you can split them, you can modify the edges of them, you can snap them to other objects, you can do an autocomplete polygon. So there's a lot of tools right there off the bat that a short little 10 to 12 minute video can get you started and on your way with editing your QGIS data.